Baltimore.
The Packers' former Pro Bowl cornerback Jaire Alexander has signed a one-year deal worth up to $6 million with the Baltimore Ravens. It's a $4 million base value, $2 more million in incentives, and here's the deal. He turned down more money elsewhere, but went to Baltimore because he wanted to be with his former college teammate, Lamar Jackson, who one day earlier delivered a message through the media to his general manager, Eric DeCosta, said, Eric, please go get Jaire Alexander. And today, Eric DeCosta did just that. But the truth of the matter is, this deal has been in the works. The Ravens had been talking to Jaire Alexander. The Carolina Panthers had been talking to Jaire Alexander. Other teams have been talking to him. And he opted for a one-year deal in a system where he should be able to thrive, then becomes a free agent in 2026. A good deal all around for him and the Ravens.
Still 28 years old. The prototype bet on myself. I'm going to go to a team that's going to contend for a Super Bowl. If we play well, I play well, I'll get a lot of money coming in to the next season. Speaking of Super Bowls, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, they know about Super Bowls seemingly every year. Tried to bounce back. Their pass game last year, up and down. What have you heard this minicamp about that receiving corps specifically?
Well, here's the encouraging part for the Chiefs. Rashee Rice is back from injury. Hollywood Brown is back from free agency after missing time last year due to an injury. And they've got Xavier Worthy back in his second year. But the biggest thing that the Chiefs may have back in their passing offense is their first-round draft pick, their left tackle, Josh Simmons, who solidifies Patrick Mahomes' blind side, gives him more time to find his targets like Rashee Rice and Hollywood Brown and Xavier Worthy. And the addition of a first-round draft pick at left tackle that can help out up front where this team struggled may elevate this team's passing game, not to mention the run game.
We saw it in the Super Bowl. The deficiencies were right there for everybody to see in that Philadelphia Eagles defense, able to get to Patrick Mahomes. We expect to hear from Mahomes, Travis Kelce this hour. If we do, we'll bring it to you here on SportsCenter. This is my favorite part. It's
back to the NFL, where the Rams don't think LA is sunny enough for minicamp, so they're in Hawaii this week. It's time for some practice, but also some team bonding. Receiver Puka Nacua, who has family ties to Hawaii, is excited about being in Maui and sharing the local cuisine with his teammates. And that's where we find our Rams reporter, Sarah Barshop, who joins us live from Maui right now. Sarah, you lucky, lucky, lucky girl. Davante Adams just joined the Rams this offseason. Recently said that this move was exactly what he needed. What has Puka Nacua said about his new teammate?
Puka Nacua said it is absolutely fantastic to have Adams on this team. He said he wishes he had the exact same skill set as Adams, and he said, well, he knows that's not the case. Adams' willingness to teach on the field has helped Nacua add tools that fit his skill set. And it wasn't a full practice yesterday in Maui, but even so, I saw multiple instances of the pair working together on something between drills. And that respect goes both ways. Adams said last week that he had watched Nacua from afar, but he didn't realize until they practiced together just how many tools Nacua had. And he said Nacua is eager to learn, which makes it a lot of fun, too.
Yeah, Davante Adams saying that it's great to be out there in L.A. working with this team, that a dark cloud doesn't feel like it's hanging over that building. Also, no dark clouds out there for you, Sarah. How does a girl get an assignment like that?
You know what? Everyone I've talked to here has already been campaigning for Maui Camp 2026, so add my name to that list.
And then add my name to that list as well. Sarah with the latest from Maui. Thanks so much.
Dark clouds, just sun. I haven't had SPF or needed it in a decade. For more on the Rams, we've got Field and Fulgham here in the fantasy and futures perspective. What are you two doing?
Want to toss me a cold one there?
You guys need something?
Enjoying the sun.
We got here. Stay hydrated. We're going to do good TV, aren't we? You know what? Camera away for a second here.
Listen.
No, it's not real, unfortunately. We're not with Sarah.
Get over here. I know.
We have to?
Look, I know it's been raining in Connecticut since January. I know we don't
Thanks for the reminder, Matt. Only 13 straight Saturdays, Mother Nature. Got anything to say about that?
13 straight Saturdays. I only have so many off Saturdays until college football. Mark it down. The first month of college football Saturdays, it's going to be Chamber of Commerce.
Probably, yeah.
Of course, 13 straight Saturdays. How am I supposed to golf? All right, neither here nor there.
It's actually very much.
Actually, I would like to be honest.
Rams receivers, how do you evaluate them from a fantasy perspective?
Yeah, Puka Nacua's got a range of outcomes, Matt, that actually includes finishing as the #1 scoring wide receiver in fantasy football this season. It may sound crazy when you've got guys like Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson at the top of the heap, Let's look back at last season, and if you take away the 2 games, one in which Puka Nacua got hurt, the other in which he punched someone and got ejected, he averaged 11 targets per game. He had just 3 receiving touchdowns last season. Some bad fortune there for Puka Nacua. He's a steady bet to be somewhere in that 10 to 12 target range per game. Meanwhile, Davante Adams, he looked excellent. He had 6 receiving touchdowns in his final 6 games last season. And just a reminder that in each of the past 2 seasons, the Rams have had the highest team wide receiver target share in the entire NFL. Put differently, they pepper their wide receivers with wideouts more than any other team in the league.
And that's because of their quarterback, Matthew Stafford. What do you have on him, speaking of futures and Stafford?
23.5 is the line at ESPN Bet for the number of passing touchdowns Stafford has this year. He's been, I see you doing that, over it in 2 of the 4 seasons he's played with Sean McVay in LA. One of those seasons was wrecked by injury. He only played 9 games. But go back to 2021 when he had a prime Cooper Kupp, a prime Robert Woods. They added Odell Beckham Jr. That team could absolutely throw the rock. I think this Rams team for 2025 is set up most similarly to that 2021 team because you have prime Puka Nacua, and although Davante Adams is not in his prime, he is still a surgeon, precise surgeon running his routes out there. Him and Stafford should have a great kind of chemistry, especially in the red zone, because Puka is not necessarily dominant as far as scoring touchdowns in the red zone. Davante Adams still, every time you target him inside the 5 or 10 yard line, he is creating separation and scoring TDs. So I think Stafford has a big number as far as TD passes this year.
Now, I found it interesting. You guys actually spoke before the show about the Rams, and Tyler, you had a specific question for Field. What was it?
Well, yeah, I asked Field, I hit him up, said, Field, how do I get into your country club first and foremost? Do you have a member guest partner?
I thought
I'm shopping. I'm shopping. Wow. But I said, Field, where would you rank the Rams as far as Super Bowl contenders this year? And this is what you sent me, right?
Yeah, it was. And to be clear, this was before the Kona big waves, which this was last night over dinner. Okay, so I said 7 for the Rams, and he asked me, he said, just off the top of your head, just rattle up,
do not think,
just go. And I had the Eagles and the Ravens. Obviously, the Jaire Alexander move makes me feel even a little bit more comfortable with that Ravens being at the very top of the list. I think 7 is about where I have the Los Angeles Sharks. This team is gritty. And they get after it in that pass rush up front on defense.
So 7 is what you think they are in terms of possibilities.
What do you think?
What are the numbers?
So that's why I asked Field. If you agree with Field, and I do, there is value on betting the Rams to win the Super Bowl right now because they are 10th on the odds board at 20 to 1. There's a couple of teams that you did not put in front of them, like the Cincinnati Bengals and the San Francisco 49ers, that have much shorter odds, and it sounds like you think there's a better chance the Rams go to the Super Bowl than those 2 teams. So right here, they're tied with the Packers. You see that? According to Field, and I agree, they should probably be closer to right here, 16 to 1 near the Commanders. Maybe move the Bengals down to 21 and put the Rams there.
I would even move the Niners down.
I agree with that.
Very favorable schedule for the Niners this year, but I hear you guys.
The point here is there's value, I think, right now on betting the Rams to win the Super Bowl until they get closer to 16 to 1, 15 to 1. Maybe that's the time.
And that young defense that started to come out of the end of last year, they've got everything.
Did you guys hear Teron Armstead, the longtime Saints and most recently Dolphins offensive tackle, who has now retired? He said yesterday, they asked him on Sirius XM radio, who were some of the guys that gave you fits? And he basically was like, Jared Verse from the Los Angeles Rams was one of the guys that made me think long and hard about retirement. He will be a defensive player of the year one day. Mark Teron Armstead's words. He was a 2-time All-Pro offensive tackle. That means a lot to me.
Oh, by the way, Jared Verse, 16 to 1 for defensive player of the year.
This guy is always ready.
I mean, he's got
think about it.
Anything past is literally a walking market. By the way, were you tampering at dinner? I thought we had a commitment. I'm
a free agent.
I thought we had an oral commitment to join.
You guys want to duke it out?
You offer me dinner, I'm in.
Best option.
Go back to the one.
The Chiefs are one of 4 teams holding mandatory minicamp this week. Patrick Mahomes and top target Travis Kelce both attending. Here's Mahomes and his top target Travis Kelce. It's new on SportsCenter.
I expect Travis to be Travis, man, and obviously the play on the field is going to be high. He's going to go out there with the mentality that we're trying to win the Super Bowl this year because falling short this last year. But then I think more than anything, it's the leadership.